Yeah, you got to have fun. The people that I know that are most successful are people who know how to celebrate not just their own success, but celebrate others' success. Because if it just becomes about you and your own, wins, and it never becomes about other people winning, it becomes very self-centered very quickly, and then that kind of repels people. It doesn't include people. You're not inviting them into the win opportunity with you. So I think one of the things that we try to do is we try to plan events and do things and bring people into our story with us. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we did this podcast. We wanted to let you have an insight into the crazy minds of what's happening on a daily basis.
Welcome back to another episode of the Life Insurance Academy podcast. Today's going to be a fun episode. We have Roger Short here, as always, and we have Chris Ball. This is exciting. It's a fun part of the year.
Do we get the applause tracks when he introduces us? I don't know if I've ever heard applause tracks.
And then a cut to like the inauguration of a president.
I would rather have Roger's
like a big,
face
giant crowd
imposed on a runner crossing the finish line doing the little lean.
We could do all this stuff.
I would rather
that would be
have
at the end of the episode, though. Yeah,
that's right.
Anyway.
Well, no, it's just
bringing them on
victories.
stage.
It's
the walk
excitement,
up,
right? The
walk
podium,
up.
I guess.
Yeah.
But today, this is going to be really, really fun and interesting because I like to go organic. I like to go off the top of my head. These guys don't like to do it so much. That's why Chris is trying to look at my notes. But I have some questions, and the topic here, they don't have any idea of what it is, right? But the topic here is the one thing that will change everything.
The weather.
It could be. It could be. And so that's really what I want to dive into. And I'm wondering if the one thing that I'm thinking of is exactly the one thing that you guys are thinking of.
A new pandemic.
That would change everything.
There's three things I just gave you.
You're just naming some negatives, man. Come on. We got to change that positive around.
So it's the one thing that you can take 100% responsibility for that can change everything.
Yeah.
So
you
no
just
weather.
defined it. You just defined it that you have control over it.
You do have control over it. You do have control.
So is this like the game? What's that game called where you're allowed to talk about the word, but you're not allowed to say the word? What's that game?
Catchphrase or something?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like catchphrase.
It's like one of those games people play like Fish Bowl or Salad Bowl. They pick a name.
Yeah, but I want you to say the word. That's the difference here.
I know, but you're giving us hints.
It's all right.
He's got one. We're supposed to have one as well.
Yeah, well, I have the word, and if we think about it, you might be able to come up with the same exact one. So my question, I'll start out with you, Roger. What do you think it is? What is the one thing that can change everything?
So vague.
You're on the spot.
It is.
But see that camera, Roger?
So
there's millions of millions
so
of people watching.
Did you about poke them in the eye?
I have no context.
Well, here it is.
What?
This is the great part about it.
Yeah,
Are we talking about like Christmas vacation? Are we talking about presents, gifts? We're talking about our relationship that could change.
Right.
I don't know.
What's the name of the podcast?
Hug.
The Life Insurance
the
Academy.
Life Insurance
podcast.
Academy podcast. So this is business related, right? This is life insurance related.
So you mean like all the insurance
This
companies
is-
go bankrupt? That could change everything.
All right, we'll start with Chris.
Back to,
Golly.
back to the things that you can control.
Exactly.
I see.
So you
only
have
things you can control.
you have business experience. You've been a father for 28 years.
28 years.
28 years.
Yes. Yeah.
You've been multiple companies. You've been extremely successful. You've been in the insurance business for a really long time. You've mentored a lot of people. So look at the context on entrepreneurship, on growing, scaling, on building something that's sustainable, that lasts. Think of it in the context of that. So not weather, not tornadoes, not Christmas presents. In your skill set. And that's why I like this topic, because no matter what you say is going to be extremely valuable anyway, because it's based upon...
That's how you roll, Roger.
That's how you roll. That's how you roll.
And all these millions of people.
You keep pointing out like they're all in here with us. That they're all in here with us. There's some more applause.
Oh my
There they are.
gosh.
What are these things? What's the one thing?
The one thing.
The one thing.
You can narrow it down to one thing.
And there's no wrong answer to this, which is great. And Chris, the same question is for you. So if you have it on the tip of your tongue without looking at my notes, you can go ahead.
All right, I have one.
Let's hear it.
It's very hard. It's hard to pick one thing, isn't it?
It is, because there's a lot of things.
I'll pick one knowing that there's more coming. Okay,
100%.
Mine would be based on the recent conversations I've had with agents. Is responsiveness. Responsiveness. Yes.
What does that mean?
It means, from the conversations I've recently had with agents, they are good listeners. And I think sometimes the content that they're ingesting becomes infotainment for them. Like they love listening to content. They love doing the during a training.
The aha moment.
Yeah,
And taking notes. They might even take notes.
They might even take notes. But when it's time to implement and take action from the information that they have, they're not always great at doing that. And there's a lot of pieces that probably go along with that to help them be successful. But if you have somebody who's responsive, who can take that information right away without getting washed over with new training content on a regular basis, I mean, just take one thing that they heard and try it. It'll change everything.
So when you're saying responsiveness, you're talking about actually implementing.
Yeah.
Like you're responding to what you're training by implementing it.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
It's the action side of the training.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
really good. See, this is why I like this organic, because that came right off the top,
Yeah.
and it goes to recent issues that are
I'm out.
happening. Yeah,
See you guys.
He's done.
I'm done.
Appreciate him.
I did
Hey,
my work.
Adam, cut him
See
his
you guys
check
later.
and let him go. Responsive. That's very good. And have you come up with yours yet, Raj?
The one thing that could change or does change?
It will change.
That will change.
No, while you're thinking, I'm going to keep going here. Okay. Let's talk
Oh,
about the
thanks for cutting me
responsiveness. you're thinking. I can
Let's
tell.
just jump back in.
I can tell. Like I've had recent conversations with people.
I can tell you're interruptible.
I can tell you're interruptible. That's good. That's a keeper. We
Go.
need a T-shirt that says "I'm interruptible." But, and these conversations I've had, they'll say, "I've heard the podcast. I've heard this on the podcast," and then I'll say, "Tell me what you're doing," and it's none of those things.
Dude, I can't tell you how many times I've taught the same thing to the same people, and it's like the first time they've ever heard it.
And to be fair, and I want to be fair to everybody, that's not a knock. It's just the truth, you know? And I can tell you, and Roger, you were doing the training over and over and over again. It must have been, I think, the 7th training. I remember when it hit me. I was in wherever that one.
You're up in northern Indiana.
Notre Dame.
Northern Indiana.
Yeah, where's Notre Dame at?
St. Joe
Is
County.
it-
Notre Dame,
Yeah, where's it at?
South Bend.
South Bend, Indiana. We were doing a training there. And you said it, and it was in slow motion. Oh,
You
dude.
heard it in slow motion.
heard it.
I didn't say it in slow motion.
You
Let's
did.
clear
No,
that
you
up.
said it in slow motion. It was weird. Why is that important to you? Why is that important to you? Like, I heard it for the first time, and I was like, "What?" I was mad.
Dude, that looked
I've
like you
been-
put 10 pieces of bubble gum in your mouth at the same time. And you're trying to chew.
I can do that. But I remember it, and I was mad because I'd heard it so many times, and I never paid attention to it. Never paid attention. Boom. Changed everything.
It's good. I like it.
So had to start doing it.
Implementation.
Implementation.
You had to learn it.
I said
first.
responsiveness. I say
Responsiveness
responsive,
is so soft.
but responsiveness is a meeting of training and implementation and action. It's like you finally take ownership of it. That's what I see as responsiveness. So I don't know. Hey listener, you tell me, what do you think? Is it responsiveness or is it implementation or is it both? Hey listener.
I like that.
Anyway,
like that.
go on.
What do you think it is, Raj?
Before you go, let me say this one thing.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Go ahead.
I'm going to get a T-shirt that says "You're interruptible," and I'm only going to get it in one size, Chris size.
There you go, buddy. I like it.
For me, it's like I don't know. You can't teach this because it's something that's inherent, right? Around it, it goes back to one of the episodes that we just did on coaching, but it has to be an inherent quality to reach your highest potential. Like I always want to attain the will to win at the highest level. For me, that changes everything. And so if that's inside of a person, if you can bring that out, that will to win. Some people don't have it. You said on a previous one that you can't coach it. I don't know how to teach it.
Here we go again.
Right? I don't know how to teach it,
Right.
but that's the one thing that changes everything for high level producers or people who want to win at a high level. They're like willing to do things that other people are not willing to do. Like I literally left Toronto with 2 small kids under the age of 7.
That was your first family,
That
right?
was I left Toronto with 2 kids. Rose was there.
That was a joke, guys.
And it was January, and I moved
Yeah.
down here, and we started a business. You know, I had probably $6,000 or $7,000 to my name, and I started a company in the United States in 2001, flying back and forth on a direct flight, working for 10, 12, 14 days, and then going home for 3 or 4, and then coming back and doing it again. And started that from scratch because I saw an opportunity, and I was fighting for a chance to win at a high level. And I don't know how many other people would have done something like that. Like my father-in-law, who actually was the one who finally encouraged me to stay the course and to put time in when the decision time came for me to actually move here. He's the one who said, you got to give it at least 2 years. You're far enough now. Like you got to see what it's going to turn out to. Like you can't start something and invest in it and then pull out before you see where it goes. Like you need to go all in and see where it goes. But when I first broached the idea to him, he's like, isn't there any opportunity in this vast country of Canada that you can do like without having to leave the country to start something else? And I just saw an opportunity and I wanted to win and I knew that business and I knew we could do something and I just had to get here and roll up my sleeves and figure it out. And that will to win changes everything because you don't see obstacles the same way. You see things that have to be solved so you can move past them. How do I solve this next thing so I can move past it? How do I adjust so I can make it to the next level past this obstacle, this what others would see like an insurmountable challenge or a major roadblock. And other people say, well, it's not God's will. I'm getting resistance. Like to me, like I think the best things in life come with a lot of resistance. And you have to will yourself to fight to win.
We call that all gas, no brakes.
Do we?
There ain't no stopping.
But you got to have a lot of gas in the tank or you got to have
Them wheels are
reserves.
turning. You just got it. You got to drive around it. You got to do something. There's no stopping there.
Yeah. It's
That's very interesting.
So for me, it's that.
I got a question for you. That conversation you had with your father-in-law, you decided you weren't going to be a moose herder anymore, and you moved to the States. When you moved to the States, he's shaking his head. I was going to see how long I could get away with that.
Hey, what do Mounties ride?
Horses. Is that right?
No, they ride in cars.
Do they?
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
They seriously ride in cars? I had no idea.
I thought you might say moose.
No, I didn't. That would be better. I would prefer that.
I think my son-in-law said that once by mistake.
Did he?
He said, yeah, I'd love to see one of those Mounties in a red uniform riding a moose. Like, riding a moose? What do you think is going on up there?
That is awesome.
Yeah. Anyway.
That conversation he had, give it 2 years, was that on the front side or was there a point where you had resistance and you were like questioning the opportunity and then he was like, hey, man,
Yeah, I'd been here from January through to the end of July. It was actually the 1st of August. And we had to make a decision whether we were going to move here and put our kids in school here because it was going to take a full-time commitment for the next year or two to get this thing where it needed to be. And I was at a turning point. And, you know, I could have took some money out and went home and started something else. Or I could have stayed here. And, you know, we had the only grandkids.
Yeah.
You know, my wife's got one sister, and we were the only one with children at the time. And we we're literally going to be leaving. But he said, hey, I believe in you. You should do this. If this is something you think you can do, you got to give it at least 2 years. He said, what's the worst thing that can happen? What's the worst thing that can happen?
Yeah.
And literally on that, I was like, that's all I need. I just needed one person to believe in me.
That's great.
But I wanted to win. I wanted to win at a high level. So
you know,
I was willing to do whatever it took.
It's true in every story. Like that is your hero story. There's your guide. Having that conversation. You face this crisis.
It's his birthday today.
Is it really?
My father-in-law's
that's
birthday
awesome.
today. Yep. Happy birthday, Chris, if you're watching this. Happy
Absolutely.
birthday.
Happy birthday. And you have this crisis. It's the Rudy story and the janitor who points Rudy in the right direction and sticks it out and wins. That's really cool. It's true. It's just a true thing.
Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of like where I wanted to go this. I know, Chris, you asked me, so just tell me what it is. You know, I wasn't going to tell you what it is because it may be different for every person and it may be different for every one of our listeners. But the truth is it's a combination of a lot of things. And the one...
So your one thing is a lot of things.
No,
That's
no.
not fair.
No, not
We
necessarily.
got one thing. And Zach,
well, no, he's got one thing. He said he's got
I
one
do.
thing.
I
oh,
do.
okay. All right.
He's going to give us his
Jumped
one
ahead.
thing
I
now.
apologize.
I do have one. It's all right. It's all right. You're used to that.
Yes.
You know, being rude. You know, youth pastor.
I heard about
get it.
I heard about the shirt.
You're
I'll
interrupted.
pray for you.
Yes.
But it for me was we kind of talked about this earlier. We were having a conversation, and I was like, man, you know, what's the difference between our podcast and other podcasts? What's the difference? And the difference was we have fun. We have fun. And
There's some fun podcasts out there,
yeah, I know.
but not in this space.
But I promise you this:
Trust me.
if they are fun, they're probably successful, and that's my whole point. The one thing that can change everything to me was to simply understand that it's okay to have fun. A lot of people, as entrepreneurs, as businesses, as parents, as everything in life, from your sales career to your marriage to your friendships, your income, everything's related to having fun. And we sometimes we forget that. We get too desperate. We get too bogged down. I mean, think about this. Is the insurance game, is it, if you're not having fun, is it worth it at all?
You know who has fun in insurance? Actuaries.
Yeah,
When I think of the word actuary, I think fun.
When I think of the word actuary, I want to nap immediately, almost immediately.
I might change my word to focus because I think that's probably what it needs to be.
Well, my point in saying there was a point that when you think of insurance, a lot of people don't think fun. That's
No.
my point.
Who
They
are you?
don't.
Who's the people though? Are you talking about the clients? I'm talking about the producers.
I don't think a lot of producers think fun. They should.
Right. Like,
Right.
okay, the most successful producers that you know, do they embrace it? Do they have fun? Do they have fun with their team? Do they do things that are exciting? Because this can be as fun or as boring as you want it to be.
Right.
You can literally.
They're either super intense or super highly motivational, and they drive from a place of fun and engagement and community. Or they're super intense and they drive from a place of fear
I
and
think those-
intensity.
Those people are kind of fun to mess with, though.
The intense people?
But think about this, like
A little bit.
even when you were in there in the field, right? You know, when you talk about being a leader, being attractive, what are people attractive to? Obviously, success, credibility, leadership ability.
Right.
But they want to be around somebody they like. That's directly related to having fun, right? Some of the best salespeople out there with their clients, they have fun with their clients. You know, you feed them candy, you joke around with them. Like one of the biggest attributes that you have inside of your sales presentation, that I've seen it, is you always joke and you have fun with the clients. It makes it lighthearted. They're smiling,
Yeah.
which turns to successful. Some people may say out there that, well, it's fun when you win. But what if you thought about it like,
Winning is fun.
it is, winning is
Winning's
fun.
a lot of fun.
To
But
me, winning
when
is
you
fun.
when you have fun, you do win.
I know a lot of people who try to have fun. They ain't winning.
Well, I
But they don't have fun for very long doing this.
I would probably disagree with that. Exactly. That's
All right.
that's the whole point of it is being able to have fun, to be able to bring joy to that. Because if it's just about making dials, that will burn out, right? If it's just about door knocking, right, and you don't have that camaraderie, you don't have the funds, you don't have the sales incentives, you don't have the trips you're going on together, you don't have the little contests, you don't have the little competitiveness or the trash talk that's healthy.
Yeah.
If you don't have anything to gamify or make it fun, then it's really, really, really hard to win.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
When you talk
See,
about,
I think that leads towards the competitive side. You see it as the fun side, which is also the
competitive is
competitive side.
related to
Yeah.
what?
Winning,
It is related to winning, but
which
but
is
it's-
fun.
But it's related to, which it is fun. I won't disagree with that. But it's related to
I saw
a
your
sport.
post on Sunday. You posted a picture of you in the gym and saying I got the W.
Exactly.
That was fun.
Exactly.
You got the win.
It's an extracurricular. It's something we want to do. It's something we want to achieve. We have drive. We have passion for it. But when you tie passion, drive with fun, it's a recipe for success.
Mm-hmm.
You almost can't lose. Like when you talk about the thing I love about our podcast, and probably a lot of our listeners as well, is we provide really good content. We provide perspective, training, coaching, but we have fun doing it. And sometimes Chris, nobody knows what the heck he's talking about. He just laughs and turns colors and does stuff with his hands. But
It's a good descriptor.
but it's fun. Like we're all laughing, but
good
me and
descriptor.
Roger,
Stuff with his
we're laughing at you, and you think
Yes.
we're laughing with you.
Let me write
you
that
know?
down.
We're laughing at you, and you think we're laughing with
There's
you.
that one guy who doesn't think we're fun.
They're his one guy. These guys
one
just
guy.
ramble and they never
There's
get to the
one
point.
guy.
For you can tune out right now. You
We
can
love
just
you,
jump
though.
off. We love you. You can listen as much as you want, but you don't have to stay here. You certainly don't have to stay here and feel like you need to pass comments about how we ramble, like we're doing now.
Next.
exactly. But when you talk about client engagements, you talked about having employees, you talk about building your agency and growing, right? When you
Fun is an
actually,
ingredient.
when you have fun inside of that, what does it give you? Everybody's more engaged. They're happy.
So how do you have
They're
fun?
positive.
That's
How
a
do you
good
make
question.
All kinds. Well, give me a scenario and I'll tell you how to make fun with it.
The ones you're describing.
Okay.
You got dials all day.
Well, for
You
one,
said, but if you don't have, and then you named off like 6 things that you need to make it fun.
so it depends on
One
if,
was a
if
community,
you're
one
doing,
was connection, one was incentive,
Exactly.
one was,
Exactly. I can name everything. The point is having the mindset of that. For one, if you do a community event, right? Provide something for a community in a parking lot with food trucks and invite people out, have fun, have games for the kids, put on a live little music out there and do that. It'll generate networking. It generates fundraising. It generates brand awareness. It generates clients for your business. That's fun. That's positive.
Bingo.
You're not going down a slide negative with your eyebrows flexing.
It's tough.
You know?
It's
I
hard.
don't
I've
like
done
this
it.
group,
I've tried that.
I
before,
know you do.
and
You have a
it's
big
not-
RBF, but I
Right.
get it, right?
Yes.
One thing that you can do with your agents, if you have a team or an agency, you can have cookouts. You can have scheduled meetings and events. Like we throw cornhole events. It's a lot of fun. We do all
We've
kinds
got
of different things.
Go-kart racing,
You could do
That's fun.
go-kart racing. We go bowling.
laser tag.
laser tag.
But it's just about doing things together, anything and everything that doesn't always have to be just insurance. But the benefit is when you do that and then you can win together in something else, it brings camaraderie, positivity, and fun. When you can tie insurance to fun together, you're talking about having an incentive trip to go on. One of the funnest things that we did is obviously our Power Producers trip. Adam, I don't know if you can panel over there, but our Power Producers trip was an absolute blast. And we had it to where agents can qualify to come. Any of you listeners could literally come and join us. But that was educational. It was inspirational. But we went down natural water slides in Cancun, Mexico, going into a lagoon and swimming. Like we listened to music together. We ate a ton of different restaurants and had fun. We had late nights at by the fire, right? None of this was insurance related,
Right.
but it was.
Yeah.
Right?
We ziplined.
We
snorkeled.
ziplined.
I'm sold.
We snorkeled.
I'm sold on this fun idea.
You should be.
I'm going to incorporate it.
You should be. But when you
Going to incorporate fun.
but think about for yourself, what do you want in your life? Why do you want to work? We
wanna win.
we work to live, we don't live to work.
Yeah.
But you do want to win. But what is winning? What is
Fun.
the definition
It's
of that? You should know winning more than anybody, Roger. You took about 2 months off and went to Italy, then you climbed like 7 mountains and
That's right.
That's the reason you want to do that.
That's right. It comes from winning.
It does
And
come
it's
from
fun.
winning. Comes
Winning is fun.
And when you win, you usually make good money. And when you're making good money, you can do more stuff that's fun.
I don't know if you can win if you're not having fun.
What's that?
I don't know if you can win if you're not having fun.
I know some angry people who win monetarily, but they're not having any fun in
Is
their
it
life.
winning? How is it possible?
They're not having fun
Yeah,
in their
I
life.
see what you're
They're
saying.
And
just
is
super
it
intense.
temporary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a temporary win?
Yeah. It's
It's temporary.
definitely temporary. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to have fun. The people that I know that are most successful are people who know how to celebrate not just their own success, but celebrate others' success. Because if it just becomes about you and your own, wins, and it never becomes about other people winning, it becomes very self-centered very quickly, and then that kind of repels people. It doesn't include people. You're not inviting them into the win opportunity with you. So I think one of the things that we try to do is we try to plan events and do things and bring people into our story with us.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why we did this podcast.
That's
we
right.
wanted to let you have an insight into the crazy
Craziness.
minds of what's happening on a daily basis.
Yeah.
You're one of the best at this, Roger, and it's talking about the positive outlook, and we'd say some people say the dream or painting the picture for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because you see that vision, you're a visionary type of person. I'm more of a realistic type of person. There's different personalities out there. But when you talk about and talk to people and agents and organizations about what's possible, and in particular people that have built successful business not in insurance and what that means over here, like that storybook, that highlight film in your mind, that's what I'm talking about. All of that stuff is fun. In that highlight film, you're talking about vacation, you're talking about time off, you're talking about on company-sponsored cruises or carrier, all different types of trips you can go on. You're talking about events, you're talking about award ceremonies, you're talking about recognition, stage, speaking, all of this stuff that's exciting and fun, and that's what attracts people the most. But a lot of times, most people fail in this business because they lose sight of that vision, because they get narrow focused on what they have to do right now. They lose sight of that vision and they lose all the fun in this. Like, if you can find a way to gamify, make dialing fun.
I mean,
that is why I that's why I include laser cats on my background for Zoom calls. It really is. It's really goofy that every once in a while you earn laser cats. Boom. Laser cats in my background.
you got to give some context to that.
Adam can throw it up on the screen. But you can change your background in Zoom.
We got
I'm not gonna lie.
150 people on a call.
Left.
Chris is talking to
Left.
somebody. They make him laugh really well, or they
Yeah.
say something that he's proud of, and all of a sudden his background turns to laser cats.
There's a cat batting at a Death Star with lasers coming out of his eyes. It's more fun if you explain it because it's really weird.
I kind of hope I don't win that, to be honest.
There you go, buddy.
The laser cast does nothing for me, but I
What?
like it. I like it.
You're a communist. No offense to any communists out there.
Oh my God!
You're gonna delete
Jeez.
that, right?
I think the like for me it's the idea of creating experiences in your life because like stuff it goes so far. Like you get
Yeah.
you get a box of a fruit basket at Christmas, or someone sends you a can of cashews, or you get.
By the way,
Thank
opened
you.
that can of cashews today. There was like 4 little pieces broken in there.
Thank you, Mutual.
And I
of
said,
Omaha.
who leaves this here? And Adam goes, Roger.
Roger, I left some for you.
There was not enough to
Who
leave
ate the
around.
rest?
Some people
Who
say
ate the
thank
rest? Yeah.
I couldn't say thank you. There was none left.
You can experience like gifts or a thing, right? But when you have an experience with someone else, when you create an experience with someone else, like that's memorable for the rest of your life. You don't forget those things.
Yes.
Like there's times when we've been golfing together or we've done crazy stuff. You just described a trip in Cancun where we were, swimming in a lagoon. Like those are moments that you don't ever forget. And I think a lot of people come into our business and I don't know if they've created a lot of experiences in their life. They may have had some experiences given to them by their parents, if their parents were well-to-do. Some people didn't have that opportunity to really experience a lot of things. And so the world is out there full of all these things, but our worlds are small because we've never even ventured outside. How many people, don't really go outside of here to Florida? And I mean, that's the extent of their vacations. Like they know Florida and they know how to get there.
A very specific spot too.
Yes, and it's the places that they've been before, or they go to Hilton Head, and that's where they go, and that's the extent of their vacations. Like, you ever think of going to like the Northwest? Well, no. Why not? It's far and it's cold, isn't it? Isn't there snow and trees? Well, yeah, but that could be fun. Like what about Canada? Like it's a whole country that's literally 6 hours north of us right here. You can go and explore and see whatever you want to see, or go to Mexico and spend some time down there. Or, like go to Europe. Like there's all kinds of places you can go. And I know you laugh. You say we're just creating experiences where we're with the same people, looking at different things, talking to the same people about the different things that we're seeing. And it's
Yeah,
kind of funny.
yes.
But experiences are worth everything. That's why the cookouts are fun. That's why the
Yeah.
competition's fun. But for me, this desire and will to win is no fun when you're doing it by yourself. Like when I came here to start a business, I came here with one other person saying they wanted to do it with me. And then we added 2 more, and then we added 2 more, and then we added 2 more. And eventually you build up a set of new relationships of new people that would never have been invited into your world. You guys would never have been invited into this industry, not by me, had my father-in-law said, go and give it 2 years. So on his birthday, you could say thank you because someone poured in and say,
Yeah.
keep fighting, keep chasing the dream, keep fighting for it. Because I wanted to invite other people into my story with me and win together. So I think winning, fun, and following through, I guess,
Yeah,
if we had to wrap
yeah.
it up,
Yeah.
responding to the things you learn and winning together is
The
is a
one
big-
thing.
It
So
is.
it's actually 3 things.
It could be, and it could be many more things. but
What's your one thing?
Yeah.
exactly?
What's your one thing?
What is your one thing? And back to that, looking at insurance, the reason why we do it, obviously, we want to provide for our families. We want to be there. We want to create a different life for our families. To do what? To make memories. Because money is really nothing. It's just a means that you trade for something else, for time, for memories. Back to the memories. Like Chris, if I asked you, what was your favorite thing what are all the best highlights of being in insurance for was it 10 years you've been in it?
Yeah.
You would probably name a lot
If you
of
had
the
to
stuff
list
that I
top
would
5
name.
highlights really quick, what are they?
Yeah, it would probably be the experiences we've had together.
What name some?
So Cancun, Cabo. I mean, all of our trips. Those are the
Collectively,
even our golf trip. I mean, that was a blast. You know, we went up to Canada and experienced some windy, cold weather during golf, but
In October. Yeah.
that's phenomenal. Our road trips when we're in the car for a long time. It's
The road trip we had this weekend.
yes,
That was fun.
Yeah, we laugh a
Or
lot. We laughed a lot.
we're on the same team together doing a scavenger hunt in Key West,
Oh,
an
yes.
electric car, and my cart is actually getting the clues, and I see your cart and Roger sitting in there, and you're running across the street with a key lime pie.
I bought key lime pie. In the
Screaming,
neighborhood.
I've made terrible life choices as you're eating full
As I was
pies.
eating it with my hands.
But,
Yes.
but
With a
that's a
bandana
perfect
wrapped around
example,
your head.
Roger, because that was literally us together in a different environment, in a competition, having fun.
yeah.
And we had
But we got there because we won at something.
exactly,
We won at sales.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So,
We implemented and won at sales and ate pie. That's how that story ended.
yeah, if any of you listeners out there, if you're sitting in your car or you're listening to this and you're like, that's right, I was at my best. When I was at my best, we were having more fun. When my people I'm mentoring or coaching or helping, when they were at their best, they were having more fun. Don't take it so serious all the time. Find ways to incorporate fun and win together as a unit, as a team. The collectiveness, the camaraderie, that's what we all strive for. At the end of the day, we're entrepreneurs, we're competitive, but we all have the same goals of ambition. And at the end of the day, we all can win because our goals is to provide for our families, and we can literally help each other provide and achieve those goals. Find different things. If you need any ideas or tips or different ways that you can win, even if it's little incentives or little things, like we have a lot of experiences doing that. It could be on the phone, it could be out on the road door knocking, or last one in or first one in for the night, buys dinner, whatever. There's all kinds of fun things we can do. And reach out to us about information about our next Power Producers trip. Those are always fun, and bring everybody on. And if you want, you could literally have your own team contest, and somehow they can qualify to come, and you can incentivize them to be able to be a part of our Power Producers.
Yeah, when we started out, like we didn't start out with big investment fund things, but it got bigger because we kept seeing things bigger, and we kept wanting to. Like me, I want to create new experiences for people who've never experienced something before. Like I'm almost the most inspired when we bring someone brand new on a trip for the first time to some international destination that they've never been to before, and they step off and they walk up to the bar for the first time or sit down to that gourmet meal for the first time in a different country, and you're watching them experience something for the very first time with the person that they love the most, or the person they brought on this trip with them to do life together. And you're watching them experience that. There's just something about that. Like they're never going to forget that moment. And we were a part of that. And so while things started out with the cornhole tournaments in the parking lot, they turn into $200,000 trips to Cabo at the Hard Rock Resort for a week with leadership development and fun and dune buggies and zip lines. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So what are you doing to have fun in your business? And if you're not, you need to connect with some people that you can have fun in, that you can win at, where you can connect with other people and make the business about winning and about fun, because winning is fun.
Winning is fun.
Absolutely. When you are having fun, your agents will be responsiveness. They'll have responsiveness. They'll take initiative, and then they'll also develop a drive and something to go for.
Cool.
Wraps it all together. We'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thank you guys. We appreciate everything you do. Again, if there's any comments that you'd like to do, any topics you want us to cover, like, subscribe, and share our podcast. We appreciate you guys.